Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a very long time, and to be totally honest with you, I haven't put on makeup or much makeup in close to 3 months. I would say, I'll tell you the exact day. It was March 19th, Thursday. That was the last time I put on makeup. But as you can tell from the title of this video, we are going to be discussing my surgery that I had on my wrist, DeQuervain's tenosynovitis surgery. So when I heard what I did have, when my doctor told me what I had, I was looking all over for information on it, and I noticed that there weren't many videos on this condition that I had. So I just wanted to talk about it a little bit and, let you know what I went through, what the recovery was, and all that. So sometime in January, in early January, I woke up one morning and I had trouble moving my wrist. I am a righty, this is my dominant hand. And I just woke up. Sunday I was fine. It was a Monday morning. I woke up and I was having trouble brushing my teeth, just doing anything, trying to blow dry my hair. It really wasn't working. I couldn't hold my eyeliner pencil, correctly, the liquid pencil. I thought I might have slept on it wrong, so I didn't panic right away. But as the day went on, when even if you do sleep on, sleep in the wrong position, it tends to go away throughout the day and to fizzle out. It wasn't. And that concerned me. So I did call the local orthopedist, and I, asked him if he had an appointment. He said he had an appointment on Wednesday, which was 2 days later. I figured, great, I will make that appointment. And hopefully by Wednesday, I'll have to cancel it. I won't need it anymore. So I didn't cancel the appointment because by Wednesday, I was in agony. I really couldn't do much. When I got to the doctor, I told him I thought I was losing my mind because I wasn't black and blue, I wasn't swollen, and my wrist felt like it was broken. It was just the weirdest feeling. He did a test on me. He called it the Finkelstein test, where you make a fist, tucking your thumb in, and he pushes the hand down, meaning you're supposed to resist him a little bit. And I quickly pulled my hands away. He said, I know exactly what you have. It's called DeQuervain's tenosynovitis. I said, sounds very fancy, but could you just explain it in layman's terms, please? And he said, basically, the tendons in your wrist are encased in a, kind of like if you wrapped asparagus with pastrami or something, or bacon or whatever. And the tendons are expanding because they're swollen and there's no room for them to move. So because of that, every movement that you make hurts. It really does hurt. So he put me into a brace, and he said, hopefully in a week or two, you're going to be feeling better. Keep the mobility very minimal and you should start feeling better. Before the 2 weeks ended, I was in more agony than I started before. So I called a specialist, Dr. Melvin Rosenwasser from Columbia University, and he told me that he wanted to check it out. I set up an appointment, went to him, and he told me that because I was in a brace for 2 weeks, he said, I'm not going to put you in another brace and wait longer. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try a cortisone shot. He goes, it does work for about 60% of people. So he said, it is definitely worth a shot. And I said, I don't know if I want to do it. He said, if you were my daughter, I would tell you, try that first. So one thing I didn't know about cortisone shots, they hurt. They hurt so much I couldn't go to work that day. I went early in the morning, got the shot, couldn't do anything. One thing that I did notice was after the pain of the cortisone shot went down, I wasn't feeling any different. And he did tell me, give it a little bit of time, because sometimes after the cortisone shot, it kind of calms down what's going on. The swelling could go down, but it really wasn't working. And I was on pins and needles waiting to make another point by him to let him know he is a busy guy. He is the hand and wrist specialist of the New York Yankees. So I went back to him, and with this appointment, he just looked straight at me and he said, you need surgery. And I'm like, normally when you hear you need surgery, it's because you hurt yourself doing something specific. I didn't. Unless I was doing too much makeup and, twisting my arm in a certain way. But really, it was a little disheartening to hear. But one thing he did tell me was DeQuervain's tenosynovitis release surgery, which what they do is they kind of open that little tubular thing that's holding your tendons to make more room for the tendons. You don't need physical therapy or anything after that. It just, you need time to heal. And once it's healed, your wrist is back to normal. So now getting to the real fun part. I had my surgery scheduled, I think it was for March 24th. I got a call. This was all the beginning of Corona, so we didn't know what was going on here, especially in New York. You know, they said they were going to shut down everything. I got a call from the doctor's office, and his associate told me that they are going to be pushing my surgery up to Friday, March 20th, because after Friday, March 20th, they were shutting down. He was not going to do surgery for close to 3 months after that, and I couldn't imagine, you know, hanging around 3 more months with the pain I was in. So, yeah, I had to mentally prepare because, you know, surgery was coming quick. The day of surgery, my mother couldn't even come with me because, you know, we really didn't want her going into a surgery center or into a hospital. My cousin actually drove me. I did not go to Columbia Hospital. I actually went to a surgery center in New Jersey, and I was up. They asked me if I wanted to be awake for the surgery and I would just have local anesthetic, and I asked them what the pros and cons of everything was, and they said for this specific procedure, most people decide to stay awake and just have local anesthesia. So I'm like, yeah, sounds good, because once they're done, I could pretty much go straight home. So we got to the surgery center. They called me in, I changed, and just, you know, got that nasty little cap on, and the doctors came and explained what would go on in the surgery. They marked me, they made me take a pen myself and write my initials on the hand that they were doing surgery on. I guess mistakes have been made in the past. They didn't want to take a chance. And then they asked me if I was allergic to any medication, and so on and so forth. I walked into the operating room, lay down. The doctors were super nice, explained everything. They wash your hand with that antiseptic, right? They brush that on, and then they explain, you know, when your hand is placed down, don't move it. And, you know, they got started. They put a big sheet over me so that they could check on me from the left side, you know, ask me if I'm okay, but on the right side, I was totally covered where the doctor was actually performing the surgery. So when the surgery started, the doctor came in, he tested the area to see if the lidocaine was working. I was a difficult patient. I needed 4 rounds of lidocaine to get me numb. But once I was numb, I really didn't feel anything. And the doctors were super nice. They were talking to me during surgery. The entire procedure took about a half hour. It's not supposed to take that long. He did say that it was a pretty bad case of the DeQuervain's, so he had a lot of more work to do. But this doctor specifically, after the surgery, he just wraps it a little bit and wraps it in an ace bandage, as opposed to other doctors who may cast, you know, the arm. The reason why he doesn't cast it is because he wants, from the minute the surgery is over, he wants you to start moving the hands. Otherwise your hand can freeze and recovery is much harder. So I got wheeled out of surgery. They gave me some apple juice, checked my blood pressure, make sure everything was okay. And then a nurse helped me get dressed. I got dressed, walked out. It was the weirdest thing. Just walked out, you know, with my hands and went home. The doctor that was, you know, right before surgery, when they're just checking you out before they bring you into the operating room, he was checking to see what my pharmacy was, and he's like, I'm gonna call in a few painkillers. I'm like, I don't need it. He goes, you know what? I'm gonna call it in. You shouldn't have to use it, but it's good to have. Yeah, it was good that I had it, because the first 2 days it was painful. It really was. I had my stitches in for close to 2.5 weeks. Now again, this is in the thick of COVID, so I had to go into the city to have my stitches taken out. And when I went in to get my stitches taken out, I walked into the building. They checked my temperature, gave me a new mask, because I guess they didn't like the mask that I was wearing, and went up into the elevator banks, went in. There was nobody waiting, meaning I went in for my time, and they took me right away, took out the stitches. He said it looked really nice, and he just put a little bandage on, and he said, when that falls off, you're okay. You know, just, you don't need to cover it. And he goes, you could use it the way, you know, just use your hand. It might be a little difficult, but use your hand. The hardest part when I did have stitches on and I had to keep it dry, showering, it's very hard to wash your hair with one hand, and I was getting a little agitated, but I knew that it wasn't for a long time, so I was okay with having the bandage on. And, you know, he told me it's a 3 to 6 week recoup time. I guess because of COVID, I was thankful that I had the time to recuperate. And as the weeks went on, I was able to do more. I was able to start cutting, you know, cooking, and I was able to start writing and not look like I was writing like a 4-year-old. And, you know, things were starting to feel better. And thank God I am back to normal. I'm not sure if you could see, but this is my scar. It's not that bad. And like the doctor said, it's a scar and a story. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment down below, and I will be glad to answer them. Again, because I couldn't find any information on this. The only information that I saw on YouTube were just videos of surgery, but they weren't really explaining anything. So that is my story. I am back to normal, healthy. And again, guys, the doctor said this can happen out of nowhere. So if it does happen to you, don't think you did something wrong, and it is easily fixable. No PT physical therapy needed, and I'm feeling good. So good to see you guys. I'm happy I'm back, and something good to report. Today is June 8th, Monday, and in New York, that means that we have officially started phase 1. Doesn't mean anything to me, but you know, for the past 3 months, we have been pretty much on lockdown, except for going food shopping. So yeah, that's it. Love you guys and love you, Dad, and I will see you next time. Bye.